feel like I might be wrong, and I really want to know what the chat thinks about this. I'm going to say this, and we're going to kind of start this conversation. We're going to look at the trailer. It's only a minute long. We're going to get into the most recent news. What is Djarin saying, or Pedro Pascal? What is who's the writing team? We now know who all the writers are for every episode. And there was actually a big reveal with that too, by the way. One that actually gives me a little hope for Mando. Yeah. And we hadn't talked about this. And there's some other things going on with Mando that we want to discuss with you guys. But before we get into all that, I want to watch this trailer. I feel like...
So are they back in Mos Espa, I guess, for some of Mando 3 or the beginning?
Maybe it's just them leaving.
Oh.
You know, episode... They got to go get Peli Motto.
Oh, God. Between Peli Motto and Omega, like, those are probably two, and Jar Jar Binks, those are probably the 3 worst characters ever to be created for Star Wars.
Peli Motto is in Mando Season 3.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
That's guaranteed. Okay? So, all right. I'm not trying to bust the balloon. I promise you. You know, the thing is like, I feel like the excitement for this show has been on a decline, but I think obviously there's some people that struggled with maintaining that level of excitement because it was so high after chapter 16. It's naturally going to come down after 2 freaking years.
Mm-hmm.
But things between then and now on the whole has not been all great.
No.
And that's, you know, you add the time along with the Book of Boba Fett and Kenobi and whatever else. It's got Star Wars on a little decline, man. And so the excitement, the overall fan excitement for Mando Season 3, it might not be there. And now people are more concerned about how, well, in this season, all we're going to be is on Mandalore. Like that,
Yeah.
Is that going to be it? Like, I want to see more, you know. And I think that is a very good argument.
And also the thing is for the people that really liked Andor, Book of Boba Fett, Kenobi, you can't really deny the fact that there's a lot of people that really did not like those shows, or were just completely checked out. I mean, that's you can't really deny that. And I know there's a lot of people out there, especially in the chat here, and that's in this YouTube space here at Echo Base Network that really have a lot of positivity on those 3 shows, even though we might not be there.
I think you and Sean might be related.
Did not put Omega in this series. Oh my God, Omega's terrible. And that's the thing. When Bad Batch started, I was like, wow, this is pretty adult, man. Like they're like killing folks, and I was like, man, this is gonna be good. And then Omega comes in, and it got stupid, and I was like, oh,
rock off.
Yeah, it was going so well to start off. I was like, man, I'm actually kind of liking this, and I'm not really a fan of the animated stuff, even though I really did enjoy Rebels. She completely ruined the show for me. Completely.
Right. I'm with you. So Matt G sends in a member chat. He's been with us for a month. What up, Matt
G?
He says, yes, Mando is our only hope for Indy 5. Mando Season 3 is about Mando stopping the production of Indy 5. His more important adventure yet. His most important adventure yet.
We are going to be talking some Indy 5 later.
We are. I can't wait. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
DJ Ronnie G with a $2 super chat, Nick. He says, I'm totally down as well. And I think he's talking about watching the shows,
the documentaries on Discord.
I think DJ Ronnie G, if that's not what you meant, let us know in the chat. So, all right, here we go. Little Mando action. It's not going to be very long. Let's check it out. It's very
The
light.
dark saber.
All right, here we go.
It belongs to you.
Important symbol to that house and respected by the other clans.
Your cult fractured our people.
The cult.
All right, kid. Hang on. You for an adventure?
Babu Frick.
We have removed your helmet. Then you are a Mandalorian. No more. This is the way.
So here's the thing, bro. When I watch that, I kind of get more excited.
Yeah, I kind of did a little bit too. Like, I'm interested in the storyline with Mandalore and Mando and stuff, and Bo-Katan and all that. Like, I'm curious to see what they are going to be doing with this storyline. I'm way more interested in checking this out than I was going into Andor. Going into Andor, I was like, I really like the writing team involved with the Andor show.
Mhm.
So I think it's got very high ceiling, good potential, even though I was not a fan of the show. But
Yeah.
this, you know, I'm kind of invested in Mando
Exactly.
up to this point. So I'm more interested to see the continuation of the story.
So here's what has happened most recently, Nick, and everybody here with us. At the Disney CCXP panel, I believe it was 2 days ago, Disney put together a trailer of sorts. It wasn't really a trailer. It was really never before seen footage of The Mandalorian Season 3 that the attendees got to watch, and no one else has seen it. And to my knowledge, it has not leaked, so nobody knows. But some attendees described what they saw, and here's what we got. And this is according to Bespin Bulletin.
All right.
The footage that they were shown begins. This is all Season 3, everybody. The footage begins with Din Djarin and Grogu venturing to Mandalore in an attempt to regain Din's honor after he removed his helmet during the second season of The Mandalorian. So we knew that. Like, everybody knew at the end of Mando Season 2, this is what was going to happen.
Yeah.
All of the leaks were true. This is about him regaining his honor. He's feeling bad for not being considered being a Mandalorian anymore. So he's on a journey to fix that. And it goes on. Bo-Katan sits atop a throne of Mandalore, angered and frustrated as she thinks of the Darksaber, which Din Djarin is the owner of. There's glimpses of Grief Karga and, to Nick's disdain and mine, Peli Motto.
Ugh.
This is interesting, a scrapped Star Destroyer,
That could be cool.
as well as a planet that very much looks like Coruscant, though it could be Hosnian Prime or Mandalore. Several action scenes play out, including Din Djarin running away from a TIE fighter. The footage ends with our beloved Grogu reaching out and using the Force against an enemy. So that is what the attendees were able to see. What do you think about that?
It sounds interesting. I like, you know, as bad of a state I think Disney Star Wars is in. For the most part, I've enjoyed the Mando series. Is it perfect? Is it George Lucas Star Wars? No. But
We're never going to get that, baby.
But we're never going to get that exactly. And overall, I haven't been just completely, you know, just disappointed with it. Yeah, there's some stuff I don't like about it. I've talked about it in the past, but overall, I don't think it's a bad show. And like I said earlier, I'm curious to see where this story goes, and I'm definitely going to be watching it. Between that and the Ahsoka shows, I mean, those are really the two things coming down the pipe that I really have any interest in.
I have incredibly great interest in the Ahsoka series
Yeah,
because it could change everything.
it could, and that's the biggest reason I'm looking forward to that series. I'm not the biggest Ahsoka fan because I didn't see all Clone Wars. I watched a lot of it, and I kind of know the main points of the show, but I'm not like the ultimate Ahsoka fan or anything. I like her. I thought Rosario Dawson pulled the character off very well. So yeah, and with the World Between Worlds stuff, and we'll talk about that later, it's going to be interesting.
So the next thing concerning Mando, and this is just as important, everybody. We got the attendees, we got their description of what they saw. The next thing that happened was Jon Favreau himself talked about Mando season 3. And Nick, here are the words. I'm actually getting my chill bumps. Like, it's real. Like, I'm getting chill bumps. Here are the words of Favreau concerning Mando season 3. Here we go. He says, I will say the scope of Mando is getting bigger. We have really cool space battles. Let me just stop right there. That's something that we have not been seeing at all in live action Star Wars.
Not at all. Not in Book of Boba Fett. We got a little taste of it in Kenobi, but it was weak sauce.
We got a little bit in Mando, but it was a little bit.
Yeah, it wasn't anything like, major. Like that's one thing that I really want to see, man, is an epic freaking space battle.
Exactly. A Star Wars space battle.
Exactly. Or even a big, huge ground battle like there was in Jedi, like in Endor, with AT-STATs and
yeah, but we get one AT-ST in episode 3 of Mando.
Yeah.
One.
It's like, wow, so somebody jacked this once the Empire left, and they're refitted it and using it.
And I've got a question before I continue on with Favreau's comments. Nick, you know how there's a slice of the pizza, a slice of the pie of Star Wars fans that were saying they really liked Andor, and I'm not turning this into an Andor discussion at all, but they really liked Andor because it was different and there were no Jedi and there was no Force and there was nothing like that. Do you think that a lot of those fans, when we get a Ahsoka show that's going to be a lot about the Force, that they're going to be checked out because of that?
No, I don't think so, because I think a lot of those fans, even though they kind of got the pullback from what we know Star Wars to be and got a more serious show that they were into, that really wasn't focused around, the Skywalker saga or any other legacy characters, and it was more of a, slow burn, people like to say type show.
It was an intellectual show.
Yeah. It was.
We were too dumb to follow it. Remember?
Yeah. I think that was kind of like a breath of fresh air for them.
And I see that. I can see that.
But once we get back to actual Star Wars with, the Force and lightsabers and Jedi and more Star Wars feeling type material, I think all those people will be on board as well.
I'm just an old head. Star Wars, great character development, good versus evil being clearly defined. Space battles and the Force. That's Star Wars to me.
Yeah.
I'm okay with when they venture beyond that, but man, I'm happy when I'm getting all those things. Okay, so let's continue on here with Favreau, and then we got some super chats that we're going to hit. So we'll hit those in just a minute, guys, and some member chats as well. So Jon Favreau says, I will say that the scope of Mando is getting bigger. We have really cool space battles. We have lots of Mandalorians. We have the planet of Mandalore, which we've been talking about for a long time. We get to see the Mandalorian culture, and many of the wonderful actors you've seen in previous seasons return. And you'll see them all work together on this show. Let me say that again. Many of the previous, many of the wonderful actors you've seen in previous seasons return, and you'll see them all work together for this show. I think we're going to get Luke again in season 3, by the way. It's been a very ambitious season. A lot of our directors have returned. We have a very experienced team that have been working together for a long time, and I think a lot of people are going to enjoy what we have in store.
I'm calling it now. We don't get Luke and Mando season 3. I think we get him in the Ahsoka show. I don't think we see him again till then.
Okay, all right. So with that being said, I would prefer him in the Ahsoka show.
Yeah, it would make more sense. Like, why would Luke go to Mandalore and help out Din Djarin? Or
It's interesting that just about everything, and I'm not trying to be critical here. I'm just analyzing what he said. Everything he said was about Mandalore, pretty much. We're going to Mandalore. We're going to see more Mandalorians. All like we're going to see the Mandalorian culture. We've been talking about Mandalore for a long time.
Yeah,
but the first words out of his mouth was, "The scope of it is getting bigger." But all he said was, "We're going to Mandalore."
Yeah. So is it like, we're going to Mandalore and the scope of Mandalore is going to be bigger? Maybe he's referring to having more Mandalorians. Like there's going to be like a whole army of them. The space battles, there'll be lots of ships. Maybe he just means within the story they're telling it's going to be, on a lot larger, grander scale.
Yeah. Well, look, whatever he meant, I'm excited about it. And I am not going to let some bad moments for me in watching Star Wars over the last year deter me from being excited about Mando season 3. If you guys are sitting out there and you're feeling like I'm going to tiptoe into this, they got to prove me wrong before, I totally get that. I totally get that. But Jon Favreau, so that's the next thing. The writers have been revealed. And this is another reason, guys, this is a big reason why I am hopeful. Okay? And I'm going to share this, Nick. So right here, let me zoom in on this. There's the writers for the show.
Wow, so Jon Favreau's pretty much involved with every single episode.
Favreau wrote every episode. And there's a catch to it. Somebody else that has a powerful Star Wars hat is not as involved.
Filoni, he's only took part in 2 episodes.
He only has 2 writing credits, folks.
I like that.
Me too.
Because I'm not a huge Filoni fan. I got my issues with Filoni. My issues with Filoni aren't near on the level that I have with like KK or a lot of the other people in the story group. But I have a lot more faith in Favreau. I give him a pass on Book of Boba Fett because I don't think that his heart was really in that show. He was kind of hands off.
Well, they handed that over to Rodriguez.
Yeah. But he was, I don't quote me on this, but I want to say Favreau was the writer of Book of Boba Fett, or at least a co-writer of every episode. I'd have to double check that, but we even heard them talking how like he was in Atlanta working on Mando and Ahsoka and all that. Well, Robert Rodriguez was dealing with Book of Boba Fett, so he wasn't really there doing a whole lot, with Book of Boba Fett. But I like what he's done for the most part with the first 2 seasons of Mando, especially bringing Luke back at the end of season 2 and giving
Yeah.
us that badass moment that he had. I mean, that was freaking epic. And the vast majority of fans were all on the same page, you
Mhm.
know, when that happened.